Presenting our national officials for this match. First referee, Mr. Jetronel Paredes. Second referee, Mr. Bobby Celso. Let's welcome our starting lineup from our Volleyball Never Stops Volleyball Club. Let's begin with our team captain. He wears jersey number 18, Ron Medalla. At number 1, Jake Raven Buslig. Wearing jersey number 4, Russell Fronda. At number 5, Ivo Reunion. Wearing jersey number 8, Jeremy Pedrosa. At number 12, Jan Mangulabnan. Libero number 2, John Joshua Cruz. Head coach, Mr. Ralph Raymond Ocampo. Presenting our Vanguard Volley Hitters. Team captain wears jersey number 6, Ron Villegas. At number 3, Jovs Kamanganakan. Wearing jersey number 11, Razel Palisok. Number 16, Clark Fernandez. Wearing jersey number 19, JD Diwa. And at number 24, Vince Abrot. Libero number 2, Jazz Andrade. Head coach, Mr. Edjet Mabayad. This is match number 10 of season 6, Spikers Turf Open Conference, where power meets
back here,
passion.
Spikers Turf Open Conference starters for the VNS Griffins. Of course, you're with me, Billy Capistrano and Ayel Estraniero. Same starters that they are going to be using in this game that they fielded in their previous game against Cotabato. Same faces, same names. As you move on over to the other side of things, these are the starters for the Vanguard Volley Hitters. Also, the same names that we will be seeing starting.
It's going to be interesting how both teams will perform today and how much they've worked on their weaknesses in the previous game. For Vanguard, they got easily intimidated with the blocking of NU in their previous game. And VNS, a lot of errors in their offense and their service and in their hitting in the previous game. So let's see how will they be able to work on that in today's game.
I actually got the chance, Ayel, to talk to assistant coach John De Guzman. And sabi niya sa akin, for VNS, it's not so much about chemistry, but the maturity inside the court. It's a lot of, decision-making that they need to do and that they lack up until now.
And that's something that you really improved on by playing. And let's see what they've learned in their previous game and how they will be able to apply and adjust playing against Vanguard in today's game.
Especially because we know that Vanguard, this is a team comprised of veterans. We talked about him a while ago. Raz Palisok has joined a number of club teams and he's returning sa ating Spikers Turf. 2019 yung huling laro niya dito sa Spikers Turf, so it's quite a homecoming for him. As we get back to this game, we are tied at 1-1. And of course, I was Ron Medalla ang nagbabalik na si Ron Medalla. Let's take a look at that, Ayel.
Ron Medalla just using the hands of his blockers.
And it's nice to see him playing organized tournament volleyball again. Unfortunately, that will sail outside for Medalla.
But Medalla also admitted that may konting takot na, especially that it was a major injury that he went through and the therapy, the entire process. So he's just really trying to find his groove back again. No,
slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, exactly.
And of course, he doesn't want to rush anything, but so far, so good for him and his team. It's going to be an interesting match that we're having today. So it's a bunch of youngsters in VNS going up against this veteran-laden team in Vanguard. For VNS, the youngest player that they have, Ayel, 17 years old, and the oldest is 25.
And that's really relatively a young team, especially that this is a professional tournament for the men.
Let's take a look at this last sequence over here. You can see that great chemistry for Vanguard. We're now tied at 3-all. And another service error here in this game on the side of Vanguard.
And speaking of service error, that's one department that they really lacked in their previous game. They actually committed a lot of service errors. In fact, they committed 44 total errors in their previous game.
That is quite the number for Vanguard, which they need to minimize against VNS. And right now, the white shirts up by 2 points. That was an attack error on the part of Vanguard.
Both teams really struggling on the service line so far. Pretty much the reason why they couldn't build their momentum early on in the set.
And that's not a start that you want, right? That's not a start that you want if you want to build on that momentum. And another service error. I hope we get a definite number on how many errors we've had here in the early start of our set number 1. We have Jackie Buslig preparing to serve from Baguio. And Curti playing for Pangasinan. Another service error. And right now we have 6. 3 for VNS and 3 for Vanguard.
They can't keep giving their opponent that
Absolutely.
3 point.
And we barely just started. They need something here. That'll be a point for VNS.
Vanguard committing a lot of errors so far in the set, giving away already 4 points to VNS.
Now, for those who just tuned in, VNS lost their first game against a fully loaded Cotabato team. And that will be another error. So we're being plagued with a lot of errors here, Ayel. What's happening?
And it's hard because they're committing the errors on the service line. It's
Right.
the first skill that you have to perform to be able to complete a rally. So you can't earn a point. Technically, they're just giving free points to each other right now.
So it is looking like a pretty long set number 1 for all those watching right now. But hopefully, we pick up the pace. So far, so good. Here comes Abrot. And that will be a point for Vanguard. They give it to Vanguard. Let's take a look at what happened there.
Abroad going for the cross-court attack, avoiding 2 blockers in front of him. Successful in that sequence.
Good serve from the back row. Sails outside. As we go to our first technical timeout of set number 1.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023 live on One Sports Plus, and Smart Livestream. Now, first game jitters are what brought the VNS Griffins down in their last game, and head coach Ralph Ocampo actually shared with me how understandable it is given that they are such a young squad, 17 at the youngest, and it was something that Coach Ralph actually wasn't expecting at all because during training, grabe daw yung confidence and yabang nila. Now, coming to this game, like what you said, Billy, it's all about maturity. Back to you, Billy Nayel.
The third member of our broadcast panel, Ayana Perlas. Thank you for that. And right now, we are looking at the challenge. And we will see if it is successful or unsuccessful. And there was no block touch. There was no block touch.
In the challenge, it's so obvious that there's no block touch. But sa view natin kanina, it's hard to say because of the speed of the attack.
So right now, our score, Vanguard at 8, VNS at 7. And Ayal, what are your first thoughts on this game? I mean, I mentioned it a while ago that it was, quite a long start of our game. A lot of errors. What can you say about both our teams?
No, VNS coming in as one of the younger teams right now. There's a lot to learn, a lot of chemistry and maturity that they should develop. It's going to be difficult for them if they continue to give free points to Vanguard. And meanwhile, Vanguard couldn't also play complacent in today's game, even given with their experience and their maturity. Because no, VNS could just come in and snatch this game away from them.
Right, it could be an upset. Remember, VNS, wala pa silang napapanalo na nalaro sa ating open conference. For Vanguard, they won against the defending champions, NU. But again, it's a totally different NU team that we're seeing this time around. And now that we got everything settled, we continue our play, we continue our game. Jackie Buslig, I mentioned him a while ago, from Baguio, plays for Pangasinan right now. 19 years old, still in high school.
Still in high school,
Still,
and
yes.
you mentioned earlier that he's actually doing his modules
Yes.
while he is here in Manila playing for VNS.
He is still, he's a student athlete still. That will be another point for Vanguard. Let's take a look at that sequence. They hold on to a slim 2-point lead against the white shirts. They go to Buslig from the back row, straight to the net. Puntos para sa Vanguard.
Buslig trying to go for a power attack in that sequence, but was unsuccessful. 2 blockers in front of him.
I got the chance to talk to Raz Palisok for Vanguard on the other hand, and sabi niya yung lamang nila sa VNS is how they communicate on the court. They have been practicing since around December or after Christmas, so that's a pretty long while. VNS on the other hand started practicing early January.
And I think also given that they've already have a lot of experience and maturity, it's easy for them to adjust because they played with different teams throughout the years. And meanwhile, VNS, really new team, still building. And they also take pride in actually developing talents from different parts of the Philippines, especially in the Luzon area.
Especially the younger ones. Very good scouting for VNS. That's something that we love to see in the Spikers turf. A lot of talent. Jackie did mention, sabi niya na ang goal niya is hopefully to study here for college in Manila, in a university or a college here. 9-11 is our score. Vanguard in the lead. Medallia will serve. Another attack error in this game, this time for Vanguard.
Well, again, both teams struggling in the service department, but also quite inefficient also in the hitting department right now.
A little bit shaky. A shaky start for both our squads. Medallia continues to serve. Good serve. Ball is kept alive. Abrot from the back row. Doesn't quite make it.
No, so far yung kwento is sobra sa power, kulang sa power,
Parang
too
hindi nila
much
matansya.
angle.
Hindi nila matansya yung makuha yung tamang timpla.
So parang wala pa talaga sila control of, both their games.
We are now tied at 11 all. Medallia continues to serve. Change in speed for Abrot. VNS will try right on the money. That was Jeremy Pedrosa.
Great angle and power for Pedrosa in that sequence. Abrot also not going for a block, actually just faking the block. Good decision for Pedrosa to actually hit that down the line attack.
And committing to that attack as well. And he is one of the 3 mainstays here for VNS. Puntos para sa Vanguard. A little too late there for VNS.
Actually, quick thinking by Palisok to just drop that ball right behind the blocker. And Pedrosa wasn't ready for that.
And that's a good decision making that we see in veterans. Ayan.
Exactly.
Much better serves that we're having. Buslig will try. And he gets the point. There was a violation called on Vanguard.
Buslig adjusting, using using his left hand in that attack. Still successful. Very versatile in that sequence.
1 point advantage for VNS. As the play continues, they go to the other side. Mangulabnan. That was a quick play. That will be a violation. Double contact violation.
Both teams still can't have their momentum here because of the errors they're committing. But VNS having good points so far, having their own sparks in this game.
We're at a deadlock, 13 all. Make that a 1 point lead for VNS, the youngsters. Showing that power here in this play.
Mangulabnan, great decision making to go for that quick attack. No blockers at all.
And we have some substitutions on the part of VNS. We got Deximo coming in. And Motol. Deximo is one of the veterans for this team. I believe he is 25 years old. At yun na yung pinaka-veterano nila sa koponan nila.
And we still consider that as a young in this tournament.
Vanguard will try a little too low on the attack. VNS starting to pull away, starting to get their momentum.
Great set by Villegas, but not able to adjust. Palisok wasn't able to adjust with that set.
Substitutions now for Vanguard. We got Desuyo and Tolentino. And they will be coming in for Villegas, the veteran setter, and Palisok. Trying to make those adjustments.
Both teams wanting a complete front row.
And Deximo on deck to serve. Kamaganaka, no go. And right off the bench, contributing straight away, we got Motol. Let's take a look at that. Clean attack.
Clean attack. Great set also. A lot of separation in the blockers of Vanguard so far.
As we go to our second technical timeout, VNS in the lead. Still watching the game between VNS and Vanguard. Billy Capistrano, Ayel Estraniero, and Ayana Perlas reporting from the sidelines. Set number 1, VNS still in the lead, 4 points, 17 to 13. But just as we resume, there will be a timeout called by Vanguard. Let's listen in.
O pag over yung bola, dali mo sa walang natin. Hindi naman natin kailangan i-overate. Taas lang nasa gitna. Kung hindi nyo kaya madala na eksakto, taas pa rin natin hanggang maaari, gitna lang. Gitna lang. Para hindi naman ganun, alam mo yung setter natin, patro yan. Diba? Doon lang naman natin sisimulan yan, okay, sa pasa. Tagayin nyo lang yan. Okay! Vanguard! Vanguard!
No, Coach Edget Mabayad reminding his players to actually just receive in the middle of the court para hindi masyado mahirapan yung setters nila, and they'll be able to set more plays for their attackers because it starts there also. The first ball is very important. At the same time, service is also important after that error from Deximo in the service line.
There are a lot of errors piling up for both our teams. They've had their fair share of errors here in set number 1. 3-point lead now for VNS, 17-14. Here comes Buslig, and that hits the antenna. Puntos para sa Vanguard. Slowly trying to play catch-up here with the white shirts.
Buslig trying to go for a really deep cross-court attack in that sequence.
And again, that's where we see the decision-making. That is quite of a problem here for VNS, and nobody home for Vanguard. VNS gets the point.
But again, Vanguard not playing their usual game. That was just a top spin in the middle of their court, but no one was there to actually get that ball. So far, Vanguard really not playing as one. Their blocking is not well established, struggling in the first ball. Their attack is not as consistent as it was in their previous game. Now, a lot to work on for them in this set.
Ayala, as an athlete yourself, what are some of the factors that can affect this? Because you said it yourself, you're not seeing them at their best. And they're not the team that we watched against NU.
No, earlier you said they take pride in their communication. I feel like it's something lacking right now because every time they commit an error, I don't see them talk about it. I don't see any adjustment they're doing about it. So it's a lot of communication that they need to be able to solve their problem right now.
So that is one thing that they need to work on in this game if they don't want VNS to pull away and get set number 1. 2-point lead for VNS. Here comes Kamaganakan, and he is blocked.
And again, Vanguard committing another attack error, but also a block point for VNS actually in that sequence.
And we have Andrada checking in, as well as Sorio for Vanguard. Kamag-anakan will take a quick break. More adjustments being made by Coach Edget in hopes that he finds that right chemistry for his team here in set 1.
And someone really needs to step up for Vanguard so they could build that confidence from there. So far, no one really stepping up for them.
And sometimes all it takes is one player.
Exactly. And so far, everything working for VNS, Buslig, and that attack from...
That was Motol. Rocky Roy Motol. So the young ones of VNS showing what they're capable of. Well, they did put up a fight in that game against Cotabato. That is straight to the net. Another attack error here for Vanguard. As they call another timeout, try to figure things out.
Hindi natin tinataga. Diba? Kasi kahit anong gawin natin dyan, kung hindi natin tinataga, hindi natin gugustuhin yan, hindi natin marirecover yung laro natin. Ha?
Let's go! Pero pag nahirapan kayo sa receive, tulong tayo. Hey, Vanguard!
One word really important, recover, that Coach Edget told them. Wala talaga silang magagawa if they can't recover from their errors, and that's something that they really need to actually apply na every time nag-error sila, recover lang agad. Kasi it's normal to have errors in the game, but to have multiple errors in the game, that's where the problem comes in for the team.
It looks like they're getting a little too affected by the errors that are happening within their team.
It's a domino effect for them.
You know, we said it starts with one person. The same thing goes if one person is just not feeling it, it's going to affect everybody on the court.
But VNS really feeling it right now.
And you love to see it from them.
Exactly.
Right? You love to see it from them. After that loss, they're playing really well today. They're communicating. We can hear them. They're getting a little bit loud on that side.
And playing like that against a more experienced team is giving them more confidence, actually.
And that's one thing that they really need, is that confidence. Luckily for Vanguard, that sails outside and that they get that point. Could be a start of something for the black shirts.
Montol actually going for that down the line attack, and successful in his second try.
17 serving 22. And they cannot get their rhythm right on that service line. We have Coach Edget just in disbelief in what's happening right now to his team of veterans.
Just really back-to-back errors for them.
They can't get their footing. Well, they exchange service errors, and that's a good thing for Vanguard. They got a little breather. As we have another substitution for VNS. Mangulabnan checks in, as well as Pedrosa, Deximo, and Motol will sit back down.
Quality minutes for Deximo and Motol.
As for Vanguard, we have Tedones. He will join his teammates on the court. As Fernandez sits back down, 23-18. Has been a very strange set for Vanguard, Ayel.
Actually, a lot of their first six are on the bench right now. But again, their bench players also committing the same mistake as them. So right now, just Coach Edja doesn't really know what else to do. He's done his part in adjustment, but nothing going well still for them.
Set point na nga ang VNS. He goes abroad. Was fumbling around a little bit. Was indecisive in that attack, Ayel. Hopefully we can see it in the replay kung ano nangyari doon.
He tried to adjust a step back, but he was able to adjust quickly in that set.
There you have it. VNS takes set number 1 against Vanguard, 25-18. Magbabalik po ang Spikers Turf Open Conference. We're back here at the Paco Arena. You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference, VNS versus Vanguard. And that was a very interesting set number 1 for both our teams, Ayel. I mean, VNS played great and we cannot discredit everything that they did. They're coming into this game a new team. Mas nabubuhayan sila. We can see that they're communicating more on the court. On the other hand, unfortunately for Vanguard, things just did not go their way.
A lot of unusual attack and service errors from Vanguard in that set, but also VNS just building momentum from the second half of the set, and they just pulled away from there. Their energy is very positive. You can feel it from here, and because of that, they're playing more confident in that set compared to Vanguard. And here we can see that VNS actually has more attack errors compared to Vanguard. Both teams with only 1 block, and both teams committing a lot of errors, giving each team 3 points. 15 for Vanguard and 11 for VNS. That's a lot for a set.
That is a whopping number for Vanguard, especially 15 errors in just the first set. And I think just because it's the first set, yun yung parang nakakagulat eh. Because that's the time when you're supposed to, get your momentum, kind of ease into things. And when you start with that big a number of errors, then it will affect the rest of your game.
Yeah, that's more than half of the set actually, and like what Coach Edget mentioned earlier, they weren't able to recover from their mistakes, and now that it's a fresh start for them, let's see how will they be able to adjust and recover from that first set loss.
So one thing we like to see is that they're huddling in the middle of the court right now, or earlier we saw that, trying to talk amongst themselves, try to figure out how to deal with VNS in this second set, because the white shirts are off to a really great start here in our game. And here we go, set number 2 underway. Vanguard with the serve. Mangulabnan. That will be an early error called on VNS. Maybe a sign of good things to come for Vanguard here in set number 2. Again, Billy Capistrano, Ayala Estranero, and we have Ayana Perlas reporting from the sidelines. But as soon as I said that, we are greeted yet again with another service error from Vanguard, much to the delight of VNS.
Exactly. Vanguard, if they want to recover from their first set loss, they have to start from their service, be more consistent.
Well, they got something going there, and that was a great attack. That was Abrot on the attack.
A great setting by Villegas. We can see a separation from two blockers, giving Abrot some space for that cross-court attack.
And we all know Villegas out of Far Eastern University, one of the veteran setters that we have in the league. And he will give it back to Abrot. Nobody there for VNS. Better start for Vanguard. They're fueled up. We can see them. They're having a much better time on the court. Kanina kasi yung atmosphere, diba? Parang tense yung atmosphere nila. Ngayon, nakangiti na.
And even them, they were confused what was happening.
They were scratching their heads,
exactly.
literally scratching their heads.
But again, still struggling in the service line. Some sparks in their attacks. But again, service is really going to be important for them in this set.
Because service errors, they're basically free points to the other team. Na wala nang ginawa yung kalaban mo, nakapuntos pa. And that is something you do not want. And that is inside. Mangulabnan, medyo iniwasan niya yun, but it is indeed inside, hitting that corner.
A great decision for Palisok to actually go for that long cross-court attack. Mangulabnan looked like he was confident that it was going out. He looked surprised when it was called in.
Well, Palisok scored 20 big points in their previous game, hoping that he can replicate that. But VNS, Pedrosa, they have other plans.
Oh, but great setting.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It was all the way here in the other side of the court, setting that the opposite attacker, Pedrosa, who just committed the service error.
Vanguard in the lead, 2 points. 3-5 is our score. Abrot will take his time on the service line. A little too strong in the woes, service errors. The woes continue for Vanguard.
Already 3 service errors for Vanguard so far.
Galay serving. Villegas, what a good set. Better attack. So we're seeing something happening here sa Vanguard Ayel.
Better setting for Villegas and Diwa. A lot of power and angle in that sequence. Better distribution, also confusing the blockers of VNS.
2-point advantage for Vanguard. Take a look at the service errors. 3 for Vanguard right now here in this set.
Natalia putting a lot of angle in that attack. Not enough to cross the net.
And that's what we want to see more of.
A much needed service ace from the Vanguard.
As we go to our first technical timeout of set number 2, Vanguard in the lead 8-4.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023 live on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and Smart Livestream. Now, someone who just arrived last night is still jet lagged because he came from the United States, but one of the biggest additions to the VNS team is Philip Michael Bagalay. He has been training for beach and indoor volleyball in the States by choice and to gain experience, and just last night, he led the leadership session asking his teammates, why do you play volleyball, bringing in purpose and inspiration in today's game. Back to you, Billy Nayel.
Thank you so much for that report, Ayana. That was Bagalay. Sabi nga ni Ayana, just came back from the States yesterday. Derecho, rekta game na siya kaagad. I actually got the chance to talk to him. Sabi niya, walang jet lag dito.
And he actually had a session with the entire team last night. And he's someone I know who is also very interested in sports psychology.
Right.
So I think whatever session they had last night is actually really helping them in terms of, their mental skills in playing today's game.
It looks like it's working, Ayel. I mean, they're playing better here in today's game. And also, it's good to note that Bagalay is one of the oldest ones in this team. At, I think, 25 years old. So serving as a mentor to the young ones of VNS. Right now, Vanguard, they're up by 3 points. 9-6 is the tally right now. Vanguard serving. Mangulabnan will give it to Medallia, and he is denied. Monster block on the side of Vanguard.
So far, better service, better blocking, and better attacking for Vanguard in the second set compared to their previous set performance.
So it's kind of like a back and forth affair for both our teams here in this game. Things going Vanguard's way in our second set. For those who are just watching, ipanalo nga ng VNS ang first set natin. Villegas, back set. Good defense for VNS. From the back row, Bagalay, no go. Ball is kept alive. I think this is one of the longest rallies that we've had this game. And that is outside. Good decision by Bagalay. And that's what a veteran can do to your team.
Kahit hindi niya nakikita yung bola, he
Alam
knew
na niya,
exactly na it was going out.
And also that fire that he brings, ever since he entered the court, parang mas naganahan pa yung mga teammates niya. He brings a lot of energy to this young squad. Talking about energy, that was a whole lot of energy for Vanguard. That was Joe's kamag-anakan.
And this is something they actually showed in their first game. A lot of combinations that they did in their first game that they're starting to do right now. Better ball distribution for Villegas, especially that they're able to have a better first ball as well.
Hopefully more of that in this game. Mangulabnan, pupuntahan si Pedrosa. Cross court, no go. Villegas to the other side. Ball is kept alive. They're gonna give it back set to Medallia. He is blocked. And no one to recover that for VNS.
Vanguard having better blocking but no coverage for VNS. They aren't able to adjust yet. No coverage at all in that sequence.
As they call a timeout, talking about VNS.
Alam niyo kung saan kayo papasok. Wala kayo nakuha blocker, lahat double block. Tapos dun yung set natin kailangan umabot sa mga zona. Pag bumitin yan or may hirapan tayo, double block eh. Pero unahin mo, pag maganda receive, siguro na pumasok ka, trabaho mo yan eh. Kanina nga, hindi mo alam na papasok ka na eh. Diba?
Kung pa ba yung intensity?
Ayusin nyo kasi.
Let's go.
Hindi pwede mawala sa focus dito, lumalayo yung score.
Coach Ralph talking about the setting. No, hindi daw pwedeng bitin kasi there are two blockers in front of their wing attackers, and it's gonna be difficult for them to actually try to find some space and angle to score a point. So, no better setting and more intensity. I heard someone saying intensity, kulang yung intensity, nawala ng intensity. That's something that they should work on to be able to recover.
Unfortunately, off that timeout, that will be a point for Vanguard. We talk about intensity, kailangan nga, everybody has to step up. Everybody has to have that A game. Especially dahil nabubuhayan na yung Vanguard. Kailangan sumabay na din yung VNS here in the set. But another service error, which has been the storyline for the Vanguard volley hitters this game thus far. It is a 5-point push for Vanguard, but here comes VNS. Another great attack by Abrot, and he has just been wonderful on the attack today, Ayel.
No, Abrot actually has been the spark that they've needed. Been going for a lot of power hits in the set, but again, another error for the Vanguard.
And that's what's, keeping VNS alive here in the second set. But back to Vanguard, Ayel. We're talking about Abrot, but can we just commend Villegas? And what kind of setter is he for you, Ayel? Siya talaga yung veterano na alam ko ano talaga yung gagawin. Ganda rin ng chemistry niya with his teammates.
No, that's so true, and we can see that how he's able to create plays and distribute his sets. No, everyone really able to attack for Vanguard.
And that will be a point for... We'll just check it again. Will that be for VNS? There's a bit of confusion here. That would be for VNS. The ref calls it.
Rosa also confident in today's game, going for that cross-court attack. No blockers for him at all also.
And that's what we want to see from both teams, yung explosiveness. And Abrot was met at the net. Oh, they saved that. Better play that we're seeing from both squads. Good defense. They go to Bagalay. No go. What a dive. Mangulabnan to the other side. Take a look at the defense of Vanguard, Ayel. Both teams actually just a split-second miss for Ron Medalla in that sequence.
No, both teams really performing well in defense. Those weren't easy balls to save. Actually, we saw Villegas dive. We saw Pedrosa trying to go for that down-the-line defense. But again, it's the quick thinking of Vanguard, of Abrot in that sequence when he saw one blocker already late, and just used the hands of his blocker in that sequence.
We've been talking about Vince Abrot for Vanguard. 67% efficiency on the attack for him here in this set. And don't look now, Ayel, pero humahabol itong black shirts. Vanguard is in the lead, 16-10. Let's take a look at that before we go to our second technical timeout. Great play from both our teams. Magbabalik po ang Spikers Turf Open Conference. What a couple of exciting plays that we witness for both our teams. Between both our teams, we got VNS and Vanguard live here at the Paco Arena Events and Sports Center. You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference. For those who just tuned in, VNS took that set number 1, but here comes this Vanguard team, the volley hitters. Right now, they are holding on to that 6-point lead. And what are they doing right in set number 2, Ayel?
No, Vanguard just really showing the chemistry and maturity that we were looking for in the first set. But again, it's the same story with VNS in their previous game. They started strong, they played well, but when their opponent is able to adjust and is able to play faster and stronger, they sort of have a difficulty into adjusting and playing in the same pace. So that's something that they need to work on as well in the second set.
Of course, something they need to work on as well are the errors and limiting those errors. Talking about both our teams right now for set number 2, VNS has 3 errors, way better than the first set, but Vanguard has 7 errors and 5 of those are service errors.
A little bit lesser compared to the
But still
first
not
set,
a good
but still
number.
not a good number.
Yeah, still
and
not a
we're
good
still
number.
not done with the second set.
So going to be a pretty interesting game how things are going to pan out as we get back to the court. Chance here for Vanguard. But that was a blotched play for Vanguard, and Bagalay, just again his veteran smarts being there at the right time. Take a look at that. Just taking advantage of that.
A bit of confusion also between Abroad and Kamaganakan in that sequence.
Villegas will give it to Abroad. He's been doing well. Just challenging the blockers of VNS. Walang takot.
Abroad really showing his experience. So even with two blockers in front of him, two blockers who are actually a little bit late in trying to close the block. Him just really trying to get the advantage for that powerful attack and scoring another point out of a service ace.
Right now he has 9 points. 9 points in this game. Talking about that man on your screens, Vince Abroad of the Vanguard volley hitters. 9 points off 8 attacks and 1 block. He goes for the serve. Good serve for him. That was a sorry miss for Vanguard.
May konting giggle because Diwa saw that it was open. No
Para
one was
regalo
there.
na sana yun.
Exactly.
Pero nagmadali ng konti. And that's why the point will go to VNS. They are down by 4 points. Good recovery by VNS. Better blocking by Vanguard. They'll try again. Villegas, good set. Chance here. What a good dig by Bagala in the back row. And clear point for VNS. They are trailing behind, but they are not out. You can. I'm not sure if our fans at home can hear the screams here in Paco Arena. Kanina medyo tahimik, ngayon umiingay na, no? As we go to a timeout called by Vanguard volley hitters.
Bakit? Kasi hindi tayo naka-organize sa loob, kanya-kanya tayo. Hindi tayo nagsasalita. Okay, pagkapalo tayong isa, okay na yun. Trabaho tayo Hindi malalakas yung pumapatay na bola sa atin.
Yung aggressive nyo sa harap, ang nangyayari, ang dami ng over bola pero hindi natin nako-convert sa point. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo ready. So, kailangan nandun yung bola. Kailangan ready tayo kasi may tendency talaga yung mga bola mo-over.
Hindi kailangan malakas. Kailangan lang makapuntos tayo. Let's go.
The coaches of Vanguard reminding them na trabaho tayo. We really need to work if we want to score more points. We need to work for each point and not just wait for the opponent to make an error. And also speaking in a sense of urgency because VNS is already catching up quick. No, they were ahead earlier with a lot of points, but now they're just only down 3.
The great thing about a young team as well, Ayel, that you told me a while ago is ang daming energy. Diba? Ang daming energy ng VNS team na to. At sila na yung pinakamaingay na team dito sa Paco Arena. And you can hear them just shouting and just full of enthusiasm.
And honestly, their bench players giving them a lot of positive energy, really cheering them on every point.
And that's exactly what you want from your teammates, diba? But we can see our team captain, Ron Medalla, trying to take a look at the bench. Oh, there's going to be a challenge. They're going to call a challenge. They're going to call a net touch violation. That is VNS calling that challenge against Vanguard.
Medalla looked confident, telling his coaches earlier that there was a violation committed.
And, you know, he was asking for assurance from his coaches. That's why tumitingin siya sa bench nila. As we await for the decision, a couple of huddles on the court for both Vanguard and VNS. And what you like about the white shirts, Ayel, is even if they're down, parang masaya pa din sila, diba? You know, we're talking about that energy, that enthusiasm. And I think a part of that is because they just want to play.
Exactly.
A lot of these kids, they just want to play. When I talked to Jackie Buslig a while ago, gusto lang niya maglaro. ipakita yung kaya niya, and that's exactly what they're doing.
I think they really stayed true to their purpose in this conference. They want to build their team. They want to build their chemistry, their maturity, and they have a pool of players who are actually young, who they're actually giving the opportunity to play and be, and just really be seen in the men's volleyball, so they get the opportunity to play in collegiate volleyball in the future.
And a lot of these players, that is their main goal. The young ones, they really want to have that opportunity to play in Manila, to represent, these prestigious universities and colleges. It's taking quite a while for the challenge. And we can see on the screens Coach Ralph,
they're
Coach
trying
John
to point out, I think, what sequence they're trying to ask
to challenge.
for.
And that's what we are awaiting right now. The players for Vanguard, on the other hand, para meron ng volleyball na hawak eh. gusto na maglaro, trying to warm up. Because syempre, in situations like this, you don't want too long of a stretch. Because it really dampens the momentum and hinders that momentum.
Especially for Vanguard, because the point was given to them. So they want to be able to build a momentum from there. Kaya parang you can see that
nanggigigil na, no? Gusto na maglaro. And I think that's JD Diwa holding the volleyball. There you go. We have it. It's right here. Will it be a net touch violation? And they call it as a no. It's not a net touch violation, much to the dismay of the VNS Griffins. And Diwa had that look na, I told you so, a while ago. But then play continues. The decision remains. Point will stay with the Vanguard volley hitters. 3-point advantage for the black shirts here in our set number 2. Diwa serving. Deximo will give it to Medallia. Medallia avenged that no block touch.
Medallia, their captain, answering right away from the challenge, scoring a point for his team.
Cuts the lead rather to just 2 points. Villegas, another combination play this time. Oh, the ball is still alive. Great defense. However, that was just way too strong for Vanguard. Could have been a great sequence for them, Ayel.
Actually, it could have just been, another free ball for VNS. But again, Vanguard giving 3 points for VNS towards this end of the set. It's not helping their team at all. But VNS just really building their momentum right now.
And as we saw a while ago, Soria comes in for kamag-anakan. Isang puntos na lang ang lamang ng Vanguard kontra VNS. Make that 2 points. X marks the spot.
Ronda read that well, but the attack was just too fast for him to contain. Was on the right spot actually for the defense.
It's back to a 2-point lead for Vanguard. Raz Balasok, just 2 points for him. 20-point production in the previous game. Chance ball here for VNS. They go to Medallia. Babalik sa Vanguard ang bola as Villegas will go to the other side. They cut it down again to just a 1-point lead, and they're at the cusp of tying this game in our second set.
Soria was off timing. In that attack. The ball was going so fast, he wasn't able to adjust right away.
We got substitutions once more for the Griffins. Pedrosa comes in, as well as Mangulabnan.
Both teams with complete front row right now. A lot of options for both setters in terms of offense.
Mangulabnan will serve. Good serve. They're going to chase that Villegas. Good dig by Medallia, and he will go ahead and attack. Ron Medallia, their team captain, back after quite a while, looking stronger and healthier than ever, Ayel.
And more confident, actually, even with 2 blockers in front of him, maximizing that small gap between the 2 blockers.
Substitutions for Vanguard, making those adjustments. Tolentino comes in. There we go, Chard Tolentino for the volley hitters. We are tied 20 all in set number 2. Mangulabnan serving. De Suyo. Lapse in judgment there for VNS. That was Sorio on the attack.
Great down the line attack. They've been targeting that zone a lot of times in this set, and they're actually successful.
But how about Jeremy Pedrosa Ayel? He has been amazing in this game.
He's been actually the go-to player of VNS in today's game, and he's been answering really quite well every time he's set.
Another deadlock, 21 all. De Suyo. Good blocking by VNS. That will be an error. That was a double contact violation called on Vanguard. 22-21 in favor of VNS, as Vanguard will call a timeout.
Diba? So, tulungan natin yung isa't isa, okay? Hindi maayos na pasa, tsagay natin sa set. Pag hindi maayos set, tsagay natin sa palo. Pag hindi pa rin cover, gano'n lang naman yan eh, okay? Kailangan natin maglaro o gumalaw dyan sa team. Hindi pwede tayo kanya-kanya dyan, ha? Okay? Go, go, go.
Go, 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 go. Kumpiyansa, isa lang yan. Isa lang yan, isa. Dahan lang.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023. Now, one of the factors to why Vanguard has been quite inconsistent in today's game could be because the team still struggles with communication. Even if they are all veterans, walang leader. Head coach Edgel Mabayad shared that the team only gets to train thrice a week, resulting to not much gelling this past month. And Coach Edgel also urged team captain Nathan Villegas to start being vocal, start being the leader that they need. But Villegas is still a little shaky on this aspect. Back to you, Belina.
Thank you for that report, Ayana. And she talked about communication, which is something that you pointed out as well, Ayel. In this game, we haven't been seeing a lot of communicating for Vanguard, but right now, they tied this game 22 all. So they have that chance, right? Of course, they want to get this set. Oh, good chase there by Mangulabnan. Kept the ball alive. Challenging the blockers. Take a look at Pedrosa. They go to Bagalay. Hammers it through.
What really works well for VNS is they stay patient in their attack, and they're very aggressive in their defense. They're not letting any ball touch the court, actually. And they're just really patient with their attack. They've been using drop ball attacks. They've been using the blockers. They've been going for power hits. Just something that made them build their momentum towards the second half of the set.
You love how hardworking they are as well. Every drop of that ball, however, that was way too much. A chance here for Vanguard. But we gotta commend both teams for really coming alive here in set number 2.
We really see the effort in both teams. A lot of effort they've put into compared to the one we've seen in the first set. Villegas talking to his teammates, a really crucial part of the set right now. They're trying to end this set to get a 1-1 against VNS.
23 all, another deadlock here in our ball game. Vanguard to serve. Mangulabnan. What a great play by Mangulabnan to Fronda. They're now at set point, talking about the white shirts. That is a connection that you want to see.
And Mangulabnan really doing good in terms of set distribution, activating a lot of his attackers in the set.
And just like that, Ayel, that was outside, but we can see that Vanguard, they want to call a challenge on that. That was a net touch, they're saying. They're going to challenge that. And why not? Because it's supposed to be, the winning point for VNS. And we're going to take a look at it. We actually have the TV right beside us. But of course, we wanna wait and we want to look at it all together. Again, Vanguard at 23, VNS at 24. And here are the results. Was it a net touch violation called on VNS? And there was, and they're gonna call that as a net touch violation. You can see Mangulapnan trying to squint his eyes, looking at the screen.
He knew the moment they actually asked for the challenge that it was him. But let's see how...
But you know, again, you said recover. Diba? Recover lang, laro lang ulit. Here you go, 24 all. First deuce. Chance here for Vanguard. Again, just VNS working so hard on that defense. Great blocking. They are relentless, the white shirts. Here comes Bagalay. But so are Vanguard. Abroad from the back row, no go. Mangulabnan, pupunta si Bagalay ulit. That will be a point for Bagalay, fresh from the US. Walang ka-jet lag, Ayel.
Oh, Bagalay really giving their team a lot of energy and confidence. And speaking of confidence, he had a lot of confidence in that sequence going for that down-the-line attack.
And siya talaga yung naging X-factor, no, for VNS. Now that he's back, we can really see that. 25, 24. Here comes Vanguard. What a good dig. Medalla will try to end this. No go. They say it's outside. Another deuce, second deuce of the game.
Medalla using a lot of power in the attack.
Oh, they're going to call a challenge. We see our assistant coach for VNS holding up that sign. They're going to call a block touch on that one. Naglalabasan na yung mga challenge cards, di ba?
Oh, and it's very crucial challenges at this point. Because, you know, 1 point could mean taking away the entire set.
Again, the score right now is 25-24 in favor of VNS. So if they win this, as Ayel said, they will win this set. It will be at an advantage against Vanguard. That was a bit far. But you know what? If you can, just do it, right?
If may challenge
Yes.
ka pa, why not?
Why not?
Especially at this point of the game.
But clearly, Ayel, there was no block touch. And the point will stay with Vanguard. We are now at 25 all. Second deuce of our set number 2. Mangulabnan, back set. They got to set up something good. Good blocking. Villegas. Tesorio, no go. To the other side. They're going to chase it. Pedrosa secures it, gives it to Medalla. Chance here. Nandun si Bagalay. Medalla again. And for sure na, puntos para sa VNS, Ayel.
And it looked like Medalla intentionally hit the hands of his blockers.
Just swiping it.
Exactly, using a lot of power. Ito na talaga to.
Ito na yon. Sure na daw.
But also, let's commend the defense of both teams.
Both
Really
teams.
showing a lot of effort.
They had a slow start, but it's picking up. And we can absolutely see it here. Villegas. Ball is kept alive.
But
That's
again,
the digging of Pedrosa. Villegas, back row attack. Sorry, that was a back set. No go still. Great defense. They're gonna chase it. They go to Medalla again. Chance here. Villegas. Pupuntahan si Abroad from the back row. He's been a little silent the past few plays.
Oh, Medalla just dropping the ball easily, giving Vanguard actually an easy chance to convert, and Abroad just really maximize the chance for Vanguard.
Third deuce of our set number 2. 26 all. And what a game we're having right now. We never would have expected it from, you know, the start of that first set, Ayal. Warm up lang daw pala yun.
Warm up. a long warm-up for them, and it shows now.
And what can you say, Ayel, about Ron Medalla and how he's just leading this team?
No, Medalla really staying patient and trying to go for that cross-court attack and really trying to hit the hands of his blockers because he knows that he has two blockers in front of him, not intimidated at all, just really using them to his advantage.
And that's the Ron Medalla that we all know, set point for VNS. But the service errors, this one from Mangulabnan.
Very costly error on the service line for Mangulabnan.
Well, the good thing about them, his teammates went to him. Okay lang, recover. Let's get back on track.
A good advantage for them also. They have 3 spikers on the front line against 2 of Vanguard.
Almost. And just like that, let's take a look at that first.
Great defense by Palisok actually in that sequence.
As VNS will call a timeout.
Walang itaas. Huwag ka magmadali. Dapat yung isang kamay, pwede naman dalawa. Okay? O, lesson learned, alam nyo na dapat yun ha. O, mas matibay to ha. Balik tayo, mas matibay na yun ha.
Go, go.
Go.
Sige, tuloy pa. Laban pa. Hey, go, VNS!
No, this part of the set is where VNS can actually apply a better decision making that they've actually been trying to work on from their previous game and the previous set. Because we know Vanguard is a more mature team. They have better chemistry, better communication. But how will VNS respond given that they're a more younger team?
They cannot be intimidated. And just how we started this game, they exchange service errors, which is a good and bad thing for both our teams. O, patas naman ulit tayo. 28 all. We will see how things will pan out this time around. Medalla serving. Better serve. And I'm sure you would have heard that block all the way through EDSA. That was just a great block for VNS. Much needed also, Ayel.
And 2 blockers read that set well established. No, was really going for that block point in that sequence.
29-28 set point VNS. To Abrot. He's blocked. That was too low. And that's going to be an attack error on the part of Vince Abrot. And what a hard-earned set for both our teams, Ayel. I mean, we gotta commend both Vanguard and VNS for giving everybody a show.
No, a lot of sparks for both teams, but again, it was the errors of Vanguard that actually cost them the set that they could already have gotten from the start.
VNS takes the lead here in set number 2, 30-28. Magbabalik po ang Spikers Turf Open Conference. We're back and you're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference. Still here at the Paco Arena Events and Sports Center, Billy Capistrano with Ayel Estranero. And VNS takes set number 2 from the Vanguard volley hitters. And what a set that was, Ayel. We were both saying it. It was a slow start in set number 1. But come set number 2, lumabas na yung totoong kulay ng ating dalawang koponan.
No, a lot of long rallies in that set. Both teams really showing good defense and offense. VNS, on the other hand, had really good defense, floor defense. They're blocking. Vanguard had a Bro to actually perform really well in the second set. But again, it couldn't be only a Bro who needs to perform. It has to be a distribution of points for Vanguard for them to be able to win in today's game, especially that VNS, most of their attackers are really doing well. But in terms of statistics, we can see that Vanguard did better than VNS in attacks, in blockings, in service. But again, it is their errors that cost them the set, having 14 errors, giving 14 free points for VNS in that set.
And that was absolutely just an amazing set for both our teams. And of course, we're live on One Sports and One Sports Plus, also on Smart Livestream and the Signal Play app. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be, whether you are Team Bahay or on the road, possibly coming home from work, supporting your favorite players, maybe your relatives, your friends here. Thank you so much for keeping us company as well this evening. Billy Capistrano with Ayel Estranero. We got Ayana Perlas reporting from the sidelines. This is VNS versus Vanguard. Again, for those who are unaware, single round robin lang ang eliminations natin. So our teams will just face one another once. That's why every single game counts, and we are greeted enthusiastically by VNS to our third set.
We haven't talked much about Furonda in terms of offense, but he's been really doing well in terms of blocking for VNS.
A lot of players stepping up for VNS. You said a while ago, it's a domino effect. And we can see that with them. Nakakahawaan, diba, yung energy nila?
And you talked about Bagalay earlier, giving off that calmness,
yes,
but also
that intensity. So he is a walking irony, because he's the one that regroups the team, tries to make everyone calm and recover, but also he brings so much intensity and life to this VNS squad. And right now, Vanguard, though, they're up by a slim 1-point lead here to start us off in our third set.
Oh yeah, VNS has Bagalay. That's something that Vanguard is actually trying to look for. A leader that would lead their team.
That was JD Diwa at the top of the net.
Taking advantage of that over-receive from Bagalay.
And also Mangalabnan had his back turned. More advantage for Diwa. Nobody home for Vanguard. Too quick of an attack. They didn't have time to adjust to that.
Mangalabnan starting to activate his middles in the set.
Medalla serving. Good serve. They go to Diwa. Good dig. And look at that blocking. And we gotta talk about Diwa as well here. Ayel, lots of names popping up for Vanguard, the veterans.
Again, Pedrosa also just showing up well in today's game, from defense to offense for VNS.
And it's the intangibles, the little things that he's doing that really makes that difference for his team, and that will be a point for Vanguard.
Now, earlier we saw that Vanguard started strong as well in the second set, but VNS was able to pick up and build the momentum towards the second set. Let's see how this third set will go for both teams.
And that was Bagalay on the attack.
We see Vanguard again. We see their faces a bit confused, struggling in the start of the set. They have to recover right away if they want to get this third set.
We all know that the momentum is on the side of VNS after having won the previous 2 sets. Ball is kept alive. Bagalay! However, that will be a point for Vanguard. It was a good try though. Good effort from him.
Good effort, but talking about Diwa, what a spike. A lot of elevation, really maximizing his height.
We have Abroad serving. Another service error for Vanguard. That's something they gotta watch out for here in this 3rd set. Very crucial for them that they minimize their errors. Because we saw it in the stats a while ago. They dominated everything else except the errors.
No, Vanguard had 15 errors in the 1st set and 14 errors in the 2nd set.
So things going well for VNS at this point. At syempre hindi mawawala si Bagalay and the celebrations on the court. I really cannot believe na kakagaling lang niya ng US.
Mukhang nag-training siya.
Mukhang grabe yung training niya sa US, no? Nakikita naman natin yung linalaro niya ngayon. Right now, Vanguard has 14 service errors. On the other hand, VNS has 10. So we can see, Ayel, the VNS are on a roll. And we can see that in their offense as well.
Exactly. Bagala using a lot of angles in his attack, going for down the line and cross-court attacks.
VNS now takes the lead, 1 point, 7-6. Villegas will go to Kamag-anakan. Been a little bit silent here. Miscommunication at the net for Vanguard. That hustle from VNS, we gotta commend it. However, finally, something good for the side of the volley hitters.
Vanguard showing better blocking in this set. Again, another weakness of VNS showing is actually their coverage when they have 2 blockers in front of them.
And we see Clyde Obay joining his teammates on the court. Villegas will go to Kamag-anakan. He is blocked. That was a good dig by Alfaro. Mangulabnan will go to Fronda. That is outside for Fronda. As we go to our first technical timeout of set number 3, the Vanguard volley hitters take the lead 8-7.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023. This is the VNS Griffins versus the Vanguard Volley Hitters. Now, Ayel, you talked about VNS's defense, and Billy, you talked about their hard work. And this is actually exactly what head coach Ralph Ocampo told me before this game. Compared to last season, VNS was all about specific person plays. And now, it's all about teamwork and maturity in defense. Kaya naman, kahit sinong ipasok, ready sila. Back to you, Billy and Ayel.
Thank you so much for that report, Ayana. We definitely see that everybody is ready. And you know, in their previous game, Jackie was ready in the absence of Bagalay. And now that Bagalay is back, he's ready. Even after, you know, coming from the States just yesterday.
And Mangulabnan actually playing better setting in today's game. And in this 3rd set, is actually putting more effort in trying to activate his middles.
And you know, Ayel, in the previous conference, it was actually si Ish Polvorosa who was a main setter for VNS. So it's nice to see Mangulabnan come to his own here in our open conference, taking the reins. As we get back to this game, that will be a point for the VNS Griffins. We are tied at 9, and by the looks of it, it is going to be a very exciting set. Whether you are a fan of VNS or the Vanguard volley hitters.
Both teams really showing, playing good volleyball for the past 2 sets, including this 3rd set.
And this is what we were waiting for. And this is what, we knew that they were capable of. And it's great that we're finally starting to see it now. I mean, what a treat for all our fans as well.
Single blocker in front of Pedrosa. Credit to that Bagalay first ball and Mangulabdan set.
Abrot will try, but he is denied. They're gonna send it back to Abrot. Chance here. That was Alfaro diving for that ball. And Clyde Ovay, just really getting those quality minutes.
I really maximize that just
And
one blocker in front of him.
He's not the tallest. Not the tallest on the court, but that personality. We love to see it. Here comes Medalla. Off the blockers.
And Medalla has been successful in using the hands of his blockers. Not at all intimidated.
VNS holding on to that slim 1-point advantage versus Vanguard. But here come the service errors. But we haven't been seeing a lot of them in this set.
Now, compared to the first set especially, that was the highlight for the service errors for both teams. I think they were really able to work on that weakness in the second set and in this 3rd set as
So
well.
great adjustments from both our teams. But I think we spoke too soon because back-to-back service errors. 12-11 in favor of VNS. We got substitutions. Villegas takes a seat. De Suyo comes back in.
Now, so far in the past 2 sets, VNS would play neck-to-neck against Vanguard, and towards the second half, they would start to pull away.
So we'll see if they will replicate that here in this set. Some great volleyball we're watching. Palisok! That is outside. He's looking at his coaches, asking for a touch. The play continues, and Palisok in their previous game scored 20 big points. Kind of silent in this game. Suyo. Pupuntahan si Diwa. Buhay pa rin ang bola. VNS. And Pedrosa doing great things for the white shirts in this game.
Pedrosa has been the highlight of today's game from offense to defense. He's been the go-to player.
And that's why Vanguard will call a timeout to make some adjustments.
Diba? Okay, kailangan i-compose lang natin yan. Kailangan kalmahan yung normal na galaw lang. Pag ganyan, hindi tayo makakilos ng maayos. Lahat kayo gigil ng pumatay. Okay, dahan-dahanin natin. Okay, kunin natin yung tempo natin. Balik natin yung tempo ng laro natin. Go. Like Mamagay.
Hey, Vanguard! Ano lang, yung defense pattern nila kasi nandito pumapasok. Nandito si Ron, ganyan, pumapasok. So, targetin nyo long muna. Long muna, ha? Pag middle naman, ganun din, nakaganyan eh. Pag zone 1, pag open pumapalo, ganyan. Ha? Go, ha? Targetin nyo muna yung mga long. Go, ta.
Coach Edget reminding his players na huwag masyadong gigil. What's important is they stay patient in trying to bring back their own pace of the game. Something that they really need to work on so that they can recover from their errors.
It's a 3-point lead now for VNS. Make that a 4-point lead for the white shirts.
Now, so far, the problem with Vanguard is their execution. Now, they have better angles, they have good decision making, but it's really their last-minute execution that is really hurting them so far.
So, doon sila nadadali. And that's why nakakalamang na itong VNS. Here comes Palisok. Today is just not his day. Talking about Raz Palisok. as we go to our second technical timeout. After this replay, again, that was Raz Palusok. No go. Puntos para sa VNS. Magbabalik po ang Spikers Turf Open Conference. Right now, the VNS Griffins are on the right track here in our third set. In fact, in this game, they won the previous two sets. Vanguard trying to stay alive here in our third set.
Now, the momentum that they were able to build in the second set for VNS, actually, they were able to carry over in the third set, really pulling away.
And nakikita mo na din yung body language ng Vanguard volley hitters. Are not pleased with the way things are going for them. But fortunately, that was a service error and they get a little breather and a chance to make things right. Score right now, 12 serving 17. Another free point given to VNS.
If they want to snatch this set away from VNS, they can't give easy free points for them, especially from the service line, not giving their own team even the chance to rally.
And you can see a few substitutions for VNS. The usual substitutions for Coach Ralph, Deximo and Motol will join their teammates on the court. This is going to be a chance here for the white shirts. Just not enough power on that dig by Alfaro. That was Bagalay just making things happen for VNS as Vanguard will call another timeout.
Okay, unti-unti natin, tsagay natin. Huwag nating bitawan yan, okay? Alam nyo naman na kaya nyo pang humabol. Okay? Bigyan nyo ang pagkakataon yung isa't isa. Tulungan nyo yung isa't isa, ha? Mula natin sa pasa. Diskarte mo. Padala natin sa 1-2. Doon na lang tayo nagdadala sa gitna ulit. Nawawala na actually. Bakit? Dahil lamang yung kalaban. Pag hindi nyo kaya, sige sa gitna. Focus lang, ha? Focus lang dyan. Mula nyo sa pasa.
Anim pa. Communication. Anim pa.
Coach Edget reminding his players na tsagain natin, not because the opponent is ahead, mag-give up na tayo. But again, he's reminding his players to help each other, especially in that last sequence when Andrade, their libero, was able to dig, but no one went for the second ball.
And finally, out of that timeout, Ayel, a point for Vanguard. Could be a start of something great for them here. And our third set substitutions, Fernandez will come in. Obay will take a seat for now. You can see JD Diwa on the service line. 4 points for him in today's game. Deximo. Straight to the net. That was Rocky Roy Motol with an attack error.
That was a difficult angle for Motol to score a point.
It is a 5-point advantage for VNS. Humahabol itong Vanguard volley hitters. That is another one for Motol.
Great blocking by Palisok and Fernandez.
They cut it down to a 4-point lead. Narinig natin sa timeout kanina, diba? Konti lang yan, sabi ng teammates. But then, course, there you have it. I mean, the reaction says it all. Those little things, the free points that you give really matter a lot. As we finally see Jackie Buslik, she will make her way to the court again. Great game for her, the first game against Cotabato, and she did say na idol niya si Jao Umandal. So tinanong ko na starstruck ka ba ng konti? Sabi niya hindi naman daw, but after, doon niya na-realize na si Jao Umandal daw yun. And medyo na-starstruck siya. It can be a little bit intimidating, right, when you play against your idols.
But it's also nice to know that you're already starting to play against your idol.
And that is something that all the young players really need to be proud of, that they made it this far. As we get back to this game, that is off the block for Sorio. We got 16 to 20 on our scoreboard right now in favor still of the white shirts.
Sorio with a hang time, waiting for the hangs of the blockers.
For those who just tuned in, this is our last game of our Wednesday doubleheader, and quite a very exciting game at that, as Deximo will give it to Motol. And he has his own off-the-block version as well, Ayel.
And medyo may pa stare down pa at that. You can see it in the replay.
Right now it is 21-16. We have Fronda serving. Unsuccessful dump for De Suyo. At this point will go to the Vanguard volley hitters. They're trying to play catch-up here in our third set. And in this game, actually. Deximo. Suyo, pupuntahan si Abrot. That is inside. They're gonna call a challenge. I can see Bagalay looking at the coaches. They want to call a challenge on that one. None? Let's see. Oh, play continues. They're not gonna take the chance. One hand set. That is outside.
The great blocking of Vanguard actually forcing the attackers of VNS to commit the errors in the attacks. And again, Vanguard has to play perfect volleyball right now for them to be able to get the set from VNS.
If you're the coaching staff of Vanguard, you do not want any errors, as VNS will call a timeout. Let's listen in.
Hindi tayo makaset up ng play, okay? Tingnan nyo paano ba mag-serve yung kalaban. No? Basics lang ng receive.
Bagalan ng receive.
Oh.
Sige, di pala, apat na lang.
Apat tayo, tara, kunin natin to. Ha, tara.
Asa ka?
Hey, VNS!
Mike yan. Kuya.
We have our coaches we saw on your screens, Coach Ralph Ocampo, John De Guzman, just trying to, regroup everybody. Kalma lang. And when they talk to the players, very calm. Very calm. There's no need to panic.
Just small reminders,
Right.
short reminders, a little adjustments they need to work on.
As Mangulabnan. That was Pedrosa. What an attack and what a game for Jeremy Pedrosa Ayel.
Again, for Mangulabnan, also credit to him for setting that back row to Pedrosa, and Pedrosa again just really delivering like he has been the entire game.
They're trying to chase it. Abroad with a lot of firepower on that attack. Trying to keep Vanguard alive in our third set. The score is 22-20. If VNS wins this set, they win this game. But of course, if you're a Vanguard fan, you want them to keep fighting till the end. There you have it. Jackie Buslig, the 19-year-old.
Buslig really using a lot of power in trying to angle that attack to score a point.
Contributing at the right time.
Very reliable as usual.
Of course, as Ron Medalla will be on deck to serve. 11 points under his belt in today's game. 23-20, crucial serve, and it is good. Degoro Abrot gets it.
Abrot really giving his all in today's game. It's been the lifeline of Vanguard.
Coach Edget fielding in De Suyo instead of Villegas. So a couple of adjustments, and he's been here for quite a while. Mangulabnan. Great readiness by VNS as well. Unsuccessful drop. And credit, the powerful attacks, the setting, that communication on the court. It is now just a 1-point game. Hinabol Ayel ng Vanguard yung mga puntos na yun.
It has been the story of our second set. Let's see how this third set will turn out.
And don't look now, Ayel. We are tied at 23. Not sure if the coaches of VNS are calm until now. VNS will try. A little too late to react there for De Suyo.
But Pedrosa again really delivering in the crucial moments of the set.
That's a teammate you can definitely rely on. 24-23 match point for VNS. They give this to Palisok. Medalla, chance ball. Where are they gonna go to? Abrot.
Abrot again scoring a point for Vanguard.
And nobody wants to give up. Nobody wants to give up. And that's why this is such a great game to watch. 24 all.
You have two spikers for Vanguard in front and the complete front row for VNS.
That is inside. They say that is inside. Are they gonna call? There's no challenge. Nakikita natin sa side, medyo nagre-ready na, di ba? Humahanda na. Ilabas yung
Pedrosa
card.
actually used a lot of angle in that attack. It was outside, but it was touched by
There was a
Sorio when he was about to go down.
And sometimes, when you have all that adrenaline, di mo na mamamalayan eh. And that is it. Just like that. Ang bilis ng pangyayari. Ayala and I were just looking at each other, and the next thing we knew, the game was over. Thanks to this guy over here.
Bagalay fresh from the US, the spark plug of VNS, the leader that they've been waiting for.
And he has truly been that X factor for the VNS Griffins. Of course, we cannot discredit all the hard work that Vanguard did in today's game. It was just not enough firepower for them to overcome the Griffins. Magbabalik po ang Spikers Turf Open Conference.
Yes.
Pam or Pam? Mic test daw po. Test, mic test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sorry.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023 live here at Paco, Manila. And of course, we have here our best player of the game from the VNS Griffins, winning in just 3 sets. We have Pemi Bagalay, fresh from the States, Pemi.
Yes,
Diba?
grabe.
Yes, para wala kang jet lag.
Yun na nga walang jet lag.
Yes, of course. Pero Pemi, you got best player of the game, kakarating mo lang. I wanna know, dun sa trip mo sa US, of course, you trained according to coach. So ano ba yung mga ginawa mo or what did you learn from the States na in-apply mo dito sa game na to?
Yeah, actually, yung leadership na makukuha mo sa kanila and some technicalities of the skill, yun talaga yung naging big help right now. Kasi mga bata yung kakampi ko, so yung pag-i-impart ng leadership, knowledge, and everything, talagang malaking bagay sa kanila yun.
Yes, Pemi, you talked about leadership and sabi nga sa akin ni Coach kanina, you led the leadership session last night. So I want to know, of course, like what you said, young squad, meron mga young jitters, young mental lapses going against the pros. How will you help your team get to that stage of being more comfortable within themselves and being more confident?
Yes, ayun lang. Kapag sa pag-volleyball kasi or sport, yung concept ng self talaga yung kailangan mong ma-develop and maging character mo, ano yung character na gusto mong mapakita. And everybody kasi sa team may leadership role. Kaya yun yung kailangan nilang ma-discover sa within themselves, yung leadership, kung ano yung role nila and how they can help their teammates.
All right, thank you so much, Pemi.
Thank
May
you so
gusto ka bang
much.
batiin?
Yes, hello sa family ko na nasa States and also all my friends who supported me na nasa abroad. Hello sa inyo, my family here in the Philippines, my friends, thank you, hello, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Once again, this is Pemi Bagalay, our best player of the game from VNS Griffins. Back to you, Billy and Ayel.
Thank you so much for that, Ayana, and of course, Pemi Bagale. And very insightful. I learned so much from that interview, and it's always a treat to have a player like Pemi play with such a young team because of that leadership that he truly provides. But Ayel, we gotta talk about our set 3 highlights. We said this na parang medyo mabagal yung set number 1, yung umpisa ng set number 1. But come set number 3, it was a whole different game.
The game was faster, the players had better decision making, and again for VNS, just overall better blocking, better defense, better decision making by their setter. And everything just really worked well for them. Although both teams also minimized their errors in the 3rd set. But again, it was VNS who pulled away and snatched this game again against Vanguard.
Now for you, Ayel, aside from Pemi, who else stood out for both Vanguard and VNS?
Medalla and Pedrosa actually performed well in the 3rd set, and we can see in the statistics that VNS was better in terms of attacks. They have 16, with Vanguard only 10. Both teams with 2 blocks, and Vanguard with just 1 service ace. And again, both teams limited their errors. Vanguard with 8 and 11 for VNS. But again, with Pedrosa and Medalla also showing up. Medalla with 11 points, Pedrosa with 9 points, but also both players really performing well in terms of defense. Wala siya sa points, but again, it was them who did a lot of work for their defense, and Mangulabnan also a lot of good decision making with 10 excellent sets.
So there you have it. VNS finally gets their first win of our Open Conference, and Vanguard, on the other hand, unfortunately suffers their first loss of our tournament. Now, the volleyball action will continue on Friday. Hindi pa nagtatapos ang ating mga laro. 3 p.m. Navy versus Santa Rosa here at the Paco Arena Events and Sports Center, to be followed by the Signal HE Spikers going up against Imos ITP. Again, those are the games that we have on Friday. If you guys want to attend and you want to watch your idols play live, or you can also catch the games on One Sports and One Sports Plus, as well as Smart Giga Play and Signal Play. Now, on behalf of my partner, Ayel Estranero, Ayana Perlas, and our director, Direk Arvin Sincoliagas, and all the amazing people behind this production, I'm Billy Capistrano, and this has been the Spikers Turf Open Conference, only here on One Sports. Have a great night, everybody.